My boyfriend was used to living alone, and more often than not, he simply forgot I existed. When the concert tickets went on sale, he bought exactly one. I'm sorry, I'll go by myself this time. We'll go together next time, I promise. Halfway through a trip, he vanished without a word. I'm sorry, I suddenly felt like heading south to see the ocean, and I forgot you were even here. I'll make it up to you next time, I swear. I kept making excuses for him. Oscar Weiss was an orphan. He'd lived alone for over 20 years. Having someone suddenly in his life was bound to take some getting used to. Then came the day of our wedding photo shoot, when he forgot me all over again and walked out the door without me. Lucille Simmons, I'm sorry. Let's reschedule the photos for another time. By the time I read his text, I was already standing at the bridal photo studio. I watched, frozen, as Oscar tucked his phone away and walked toward a woman in a wedding gown. Gwyneth Pruitt. Gwyneth wore a wicked little grin. Did my dear best friend fall for your lies again? Something mocking flickered across Oscar's face. What lies? I'm just used to being alone. I forgot I had a girlfriend, that's all. That was the moment it finally hit me. Every single time Oscar had forgotten me, it had been a betrayal. Fine, if he loved forgetting me so much, then I'd give him exactly what he wanted, and disappear from his world completely. I turned to leave, fighting back tears, only to have a staff member step into my path. You must be the temption sent over to help, right? Just call me and James while you're here. She shoved a light reflector into my hands. When I just stood there, dazed, she pushed me off to the side of Oscar and Gwyneth. Hurry up and hold that reflector. Get in position. We've got a tight schedule today, so let's move. Oscar's gaze settled on me. His brow furrowed, and he came striding straight toward me. You. My heart slammed against my ribs, and without thinking, I felt a guilty urge to run, even though I wasn't the one in the wrong. Just as I braced for him to recognize me, he suddenly thrust out a hand and shoved me backward. What is wrong with you? Can't you tell you're stepping on the gown? I landed hard on the floor, the impact knocking a sharp hiss out of me, but he just crouched down, dabbing carefully at the black scuff on the gown with a wet wipe. Do you have any idea what this dress is worth? Could you even afford to replace it if you ruined it? I looked at the gown on Gwyneth's body, and a coppery sweetness rose in my throat. That antique wedding gown was a gift my grandmother had left behind. My grandmother had worn it at her wedding, and so had my mother. It meant the world to me, and Gwyneth, the girl I'd grown up with since childhood, was tilting her head and smiling at me. So sorry. My fiancé just loves me so much that he gets a little protective. He didn't scare you, did he? And hurried over to apologize on my behalf. I'm so sorry. The girl's just a temp we called in last minute. She didn't mean it. Only then did I notice that the baseball cap and mask I had on matched the studio staff's exactly. No wonder they'd mistaken me for one of them. I should have walked away. Instead, as if in a trance, I raised the reflector, and watched Oscar and Gwyneth strike one intimate pose after another, right in front of me. The tears spilled out before I could stop them. Everyone assumed I was moved by the happiness of the couple. The makeup artist standing beside me sighed. Mr. Weiss really is a wonderful husband. He had every inch of this set arranged by his own people. He said he wanted to give his wife the most beautiful photos possible. My hand froze around the reflector. This set was something I had designed myself. 3 days and 3 nights of work to put it together. To commemorate the 8 long years Oscar and I had spent in love. During a break in the shoot, I stood with my head bowed, trying to pull myself together. Then Oscar pointed at me. Hey, you. My fiancé's ankles are aching from these heels. Give them a rub. The words had barely left his mouth. Gwyneth's foot was already resting on my leg. She reached down and swept the skirt aside. The tip of one long, manicured nail snagged on the lace trim of the hem. With an impatient jerk, she yanked it free, and the lace tore clean through. My breath caught, and I shot to my feet. Gwyneth went sprawling flat on her back, the pain bringing instant tears to her eyes. Oscar's face darkened in an instant. You crazy woman. His palm cracked across my cheek. The mask flew off my face, and a smear of red bloomed at the corner of my lip. My face was bare to the air. Lucille? Gwyneth clapped a hand over her mouth and gasped. Panic flickered across Oscar's face for only a heartbeat before his brow snapped into a frown. Lucille Simmons, you followed me here all along. Why didn't you just show yourself? So you disguised yourself as staff just to watch me make a fool of myself? I wiped the red from the corner of my mouth. A bitter laugh escaped me, twisting the blame onto me. It was a move he never tired of pulling. Every time I caught him doing something wrong, he'd find some way to dig up a fault in me instead. I used to think my